Hello and happy holidays. Thank you so much for joining me today in this video. This is the part 2 to a question and answer videos that I had people send in questions for me to respond to. And part 1 was just questions about dream work in general. And today I'm going to be talking about questions from individual dream work and then group dream work, questions about those. So please be sure and hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more videos like this. I also want to say that I will not see you again until next year toward the end of January. I also want to apologize for such a long gap between the first part 1 of the question and answers and this one. I apologize for that. Sometimes things just happen that are a little bit beyond your control. But anyway, thank you so much for viewing this, and I hope you enjoy it. So the first question, the first group of questions I'm going to do is individual dream work. So the first question is, can we learn to work with our own dreams? Well, I would say absolutely, resoundingly yes. That's what all my videos have been about to this point. Learning how to do individual dream work so that you can get information that you need to learn about yourself, to grow, to transform, also to look at maybe your situations that you might be in your life in order to gain guidance from that. Now, I do have a 2-part videos on just intro to dream work, and I think that would be real beneficial for you also to watch. It also has a list of some really good books in there that you can use to start your journey, or even if you've been doing dream work for a long time, the books that I talk about in those videos are really good also. I have another dream video on journaling, how to keep a dream journal. It's really important to keep a dream journal if you do dream work, and that video of course goes into more detail about why that is so important. So please don't hesitate to start working on your dreams. If you ever have any questions, please put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to get back with you on that. And in all honesty, most people actually do individual dream work as opposed to doing group dream work. And if you're doing group dream work, then you probably are doing individual work anyway. Number 2, do you have a go-to method for dream work, or do you decide a different method based on each dream? Well, the very first thing that I tend to do is make associations, and I've talked about making associations in some of my other videos, so I won't go into detail about that. But that's generally the first thing I do, especially if I don't have time to really work a dream. I will make some associations and see how they may apply to me and what's going on with me in my inner and outer life. The other thing, though, I want to emphasize also is that don't just do associations. Do those and then come back at least and do a method and work the entire dream. You don't want to take out just the individual image or a person and make associations with it and then not go back also and look at those in the dream as a whole. It would be akin to, you know, watching just a little bit of a movie and thinking you've gotten everything that the movie has to offer. So be sure and do a dream work method in association with in connection with making associations. I don't have a specific dream method that I go to necessarily. I let the spirit guide me in order to decide which dream work method that I want to go with for any specific dream. So again, making associations is a quick way to get some information about what it is that the dream may be telling you. Number 3, should I revisit old dreams in my journal? If so, what should I look for? So I would say, rather than saying should you, I would say there are probably going to be times where you want to do that. For example, you may have a dream that you've never worked with and you just feel a tug to go look at that and visit it for the first time. You may have a dream that you've worked a little bit on, maybe you've just done associations with it, and you want to go back and do a dream work method with that. You may have a dream that is similar to a dream you had in the past, and you might want to go back and look at both those dreams together and maybe even work them together with the same method. You may be experiencing a situation in your outer life that is very similar to a situation you had when you were had a dream before, and you might want to go back and look at that dream. So there are a lot of different reasons why you might want to revisit a dream. It definitely is encouraged, but it's not something that you absolutely should do all the time. You may also want to work an older dream in several different ways to see what message it might have for you in looking at it in another way. For example, if you learn a new dream work method, you might want to do that. As far as what you should be looking for, that would be hard to say what you should be looking for. You need to look in any dream, you need to look at, whatever is going on in your life, internally as well as externally at that time in your life. Number 4, I have a lot of animals in my dreams. How do I figure out their significance? Well, animals can really have a special place in your dream life and really reveal to you a lot of different things, and you definitely would want to look at animals. You also would want to, first of all, maybe make an association with that animal, what that animal means to you in your outer life, how you see an animal. You would also want to especially look at it if it was odd or unusual. For example, I had a dream the other night that had 2 really strong horses in my dream, and one was completely black and one was completely white. So that's pretty significant to have those polar opposites like that. So something, of course, like that would be important to make associations with. But you don't want to stop there. After you make the associations, again, you would want to work the whole dream to see how the animal fits into that dream and fits into the message that it has for you. Now, I do want to share, oh, excuse me, I should have had these up in my lap already, I'm sorry. I do want to share 2 books that would be really beneficial for you in working with animals and images as far as looking at the archetypal, because after you do your associations with an animal, you would want to look at the archetypal meanings behind it. This is called The Dictionary of Symbols, and it's by J.E. Cirlot. And it not only has animals in it, but it has a lot of various images to look at also, and it looks at them from different cultures, different time periods. So this is an excellent resource in looking at archetypal images. Then the second book I wanted to share with you is called Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. And it's an excellent book, and it focuses on animals, your totem animal, the meanings, and not just from one perspective or one culture, but it looks at animals, specific animals at various cultures and time periods as well, and what they mean. Again, archetypally, what they mean. You always want to remember to do associations, your own associations, and apply those, and then look at an archetypal image. Now, the dream group questions. The first question is, how are dreams worked within a group? Well, there are several different ways you can do dream work in a group. First of all, you definitely want people who are going to be committed and people who you're going to be able to trust and have confidence in. That's very, very important in looking at dream work, because remember, as you share a dream, you're sharing part of yourself, and you definitely want to be able to trust the individuals that you're sharing with. So a group can be 3 or 4 people, 5. I would not want to go up to 8 people, or no more than 8 people, just because that's a really large group, and it's can get cumbersome, and people maybe not showing up. But anyway, 8 is a big group. I'm not saying don't do that, but you really want to think about what size group you want. You also want to decide if it's an open or closed group. A closed group is one where the members of origin, it stays the members that began the group. An open group is one where members can come and go. So there are some people who meet like that who have an open group, but again, that's just the individuals in the group would want to make that decision. So one way to work with dreams is when you start, you begin by a little bit of silence. After the silence is over with, each group member says just a quick sentence about how they are. For example, my week has been great, I'm in a good spot, I feel really good about it. Or someone else might share that they're having a difficult time making a decision connected to their family. So this is in order just to check in and also to build trust. After that, each individual, except for the person sharing a dream that night or that day, whenever your group is meeting, then each individual would just say a sentence or maybe share an image about a dream that they've had. So for example, if I was meeting in a dream group tonight, I might share that I had, my image was 2 strong horses, one black and one white, and then that would be it. This helps to build trust and confidence and just a sharing and knowing that we each are opening up to each other in order to be helped by the group members and to learn and grow from the group members. Then after that, the individual who's presenting a dream would read the dream. Everybody would ask for clarifying questions. At this point, it's just strictly if you don't understand something, you don't remember something, or you're confused about something, you would ask clarifying questions. After everyone has asked their clarifying question, then you would move into, the dreamer would read the dream again, and then people would start projecting their own stuff onto that dream by using if it were my dream statement. So for example, I might say something like, if it were my dream, I would wonder why that dog barked at that specific time. Or someone else might say, if it were my dream, I would wonder about that pine cone and what that might have meant. So we are putting our own stuff as if the dream was ours and what we would be curious about. And that's called projecting our information, our questions onto the individual's dream. Now, individuals will receive those. They will either utilize them, it will quicken something in the dreamer, or it won't. And it's nothing personal either way. An important thing about making if it were my dream statements is to make sure you take time and let the statements come from inside, from your heart. Let them just float up. Don't get in a hurry to try to think you have to say a lot of if it were my dream statements. Don't get in a rush. You have all the time in the world. Trust the Spirit to guide you into saying what it is that you need to say, and that the Spirit will also quicken the dreamer to see what he or she might need to hear. After everyone has completed or they feel they've exhausted the if it were my dream statements, then the dreamer has an opportunity to ask the group questions. Or if they're confused about something or want clarification on something that was said. After that is done, the group ends with a moment of silence also. Now it's important to note when that session is closed, that dream is off limits. Nobody talks about it after that. You don't bring it up outside of the group and you don't bring it up inside the group. Now the next time this dreamer has a turn to share a dream, if they want to bring that dream in again, that's perfectly fine, and work it again, that's perfectly okay. But that's up to the dreamer. When it's closed in that meeting, then you don't bring it up. You don't bring it up any longer. Again, remember that only the dreamer knows for sure, with any clarity, what a dream might mean. None of us would be able to share and tell a dreamer what their dream means. So you want to just remember to honor that and not put anything on the individual that is your own outside of the if it were my dream statement. The second question is, how can untrained people in a dream group help us understand what our dreams are trying to tell us? So I basically answered that question in the first question, the one I just finished, and it's done by projection, and it's done by just different people's perspective, because everybody has different experiences, everybody has different perspectives, they look at things differently, they use different sides of their brain. So those kind of things from another person can shed light on something for each one of us. That's why it's so important to be open to listen to other people about what they have to say and what their thoughts and ideas are. Always remember, the basic ground rule is only the individual who has the dream knows and can figure out what it is that the dream means. And the final question is, in dream tending with a group, if it's best practice to project your own stuff onto the dream, how do you keep from slipping in something that you think the dreamer needs to hear? So my first thought on this would be the very second you hear yourself saying, or you hear yourself thinking, I think it would be good for Jane to hear this. You don't say it. You just put it to the side. Because anytime you think you know what somebody needs to hear, you could be setting yourself up for ego to be playing a part in it. You could be maybe even breaking a confidence, because maybe you're privy to some information that other group members do not have. So anytime you get a sense that I think so-and-so needs to hear this, just don't say it. Now that's different than feeling a nudge from the Spirit, but the Spirit goes about it in a different way. I don't believe the Spirit would say, so-and-so needs to hear this, you need to say that. So we each want to be careful and make sure our ego does not get involved with feeling like we know what an individual needs to hear. Trust the Spirit. The Spirit can use anybody. The Spirit can use a stranger to give information to someone that they know nothing about. So just be sure and be sensitive to that, and err on the side of caution, and don't say anything. Just sit there quietly and let, if it were my dream statement, come up from the heart, not from the mind. I want to thank you so very much for watching this video. Please be sure and hit the like button if you like it. Hit the subscribe button if you think you would like to hear more videos like this. Again, I will be back at the end of January with some more videos. I want to wish everybody happy holidays, happy dreams. Please be safe. Wear a mask, distance, and wash your hands. And let's see if we can't get this pandemic, be a part of getting it under control a little bit. Mainly, keep safe. Remember to be grateful for all we have. And I will look forward to seeing you next year. Happy dreams, happy holidays.